It started with silence, in a hidden room under Earth's largest space command center. Every radar screen went black for exactly 3 seconds. Then, they came back. But something had changed. A huge object had appeared in Earth's orbit. Didn't send a signal, it didn't respond to hails, it just floated there above the planet, like a black shadow against the stars. The object was bigger than any ship humans had ever seen. Long and smooth, its shape was almost too perfect. No windows, no engines, no sign of life. Just a cold, quiet presence watching from above. The president of Earth's United Council was called immediately. Generals, scientists, and diplomats gathered in panic. Everyone had one question. What is it? Then, finally, the ship spoke. A deep, soft voice filled every communication channel across the globe. It was calm, polite, even friendly. Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Valari. We come in peace. The voice continued, explaining that they were travelers from a distant star. They said they had watched Earth for years and now wanted to meet, share knowledge, and form an alliance. The world paused. Fear turned into curiosity. News channels exploded with headlines. First contact. Aliens are here. They say they come in peace. Within hours, Earth's leaders agreed to meet the Valari. A special landing site was prepared in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, a floating platform built for emergencies. It was neutral ground. No country controlled it. 3 days later, the Valari arrived. Their shuttle glided down like a silver bird. It made no sound, no wind, no fire. It simply touched the platform and opened its doors. The Valari stepped out. They were taller than any human. Their skin shimmered like silver mixed with glass. Their faces were smooth, with glowing blue eyes. They wore long robes that moved without wind. Their leader called himself Vale. He smiled and bowed deeply. It is an honor to walk among you, he said. Earth's leaders greeted him with careful smiles. Soldiers stood far away, hidden behind barriers, while drones floated in the air, watching every move. Still, everything felt calm. Vale and his team gave gifts. A crystal that showed moving stars when touched, a plant that glowed in the dark, and a small sphere that healed cuts in seconds. The scientists were amazed. Diplomats were hopeful. The people watching across the world were filled with wonder, but some noticed something strange, Vale asked. Many questions, but not the usual ones. He didn't ask about Earth's cultures or history or art. He asked about military forces, satellite coverage, naval strength. And finally, during a quiet moment, he leaned toward General Carter and asked, "Where is your largest warship?" General didn't answer. He just stared. Vale quickly smiled again. "Ah, forgive me, I meant your most beautiful ship." But the moment was gone. Something felt wrong now. Back in space, Earth's satellites started picking up odd signals. From the Valari mothership, hidden codes, encrypted messages, movements that didn't match peaceful behavior. One of Earth's top analysts, Maya Lin, watched the patterns from her dark lab underground. Her AI flagged something strange. The Valari ships were scanning the oceans, not the cities. They were interested in deep waters, hidden bases, and something else. "They're not here for peace," she whispered. "They're mapping our defenses." At the same time, the Valari requested a tour of Earth's orbital defenses. Earth refused. Tensions rose quietly. On the surface, everything looked calm. Smiles, meetings, talks. But behind the scenes, military forces across the planet were put on high alert, and far across the solar system. Something responded to a secret message from Earth. A forgotten part of space. Cold, empty, dead, then ... A light. Deep in the darkness, a shape started to move. A silent machine opened its eyes. Not a ship, not a manned vessel. Something different. Something old. Something built to do one thing. It received one message. Unknown contact. Possible. Threat. Observe. It did not reply. It simply moved. Back on Earth, Vale stood on the platform with his calm smile. He looked at the sky. Your world is full of potential, he said. The president nodded politely. We believe in peace. Vale's smile twitched. Yes, he said. Peace always comes before something greater. The wind stopped for a moment. The birds flew away. Even the sea grew still. Far above, the stars watched in silence. Something had begun. Humanity had already made its first move. The Volari mothership stayed silent for hours. No movement, no lights. Just a giant shadow hanging above Earth. Some said they were resting. Some said they were watching. But one scientist whispered, "That thing is studying us." Inside the ship, it was cold. The Volari allowed a small human team aboard their mothership. It was the first time any human had ever stepped inside an alien vessel. The shuttle that picked them up was smooth and silent. No buttons. Just light and movement. It flew them to the mothership like a ghost floating through space. When the doors opened, the humans stared in awe. The inside of the Volari ship looked like a cathedral. High walls of silver light, floating platforms. No wires, no pipes. Everything looked alive, moving slightly, like the ship was breathing. But there was something strange. It was empty. No workers, no guards, no engineers. Just the same few Volaris standing and waiting. Too few for such a massive ship? Commander Rachel Moss, leader of the human team, took note silently. Her team of scientists, soldiers, and diplomats spread out. Some scanned the walls. Some took photos. Some whispered questions. Where is everyone? How is this ship even powered? Why do the walls feel warm? One engineer, Malik, noticed strange metal shapes above them, small. Circular ports hidden behind glowing walls. These look like weapon hatches, he said quietly. But they're facing inward. The team grew uneasy. Val, the Volari leader, floated toward them with his usual calm smile. Welcome to our home, he said. The ship has traveled across 100 star systems. You are the first humans to enter it. Rachel nodded. Thank you for your trust. Vale tilted his head. Trust is important when peace is the goal. But Rachel noticed something. Vale had said, when peace is the goal, not because peace is the goal. She smiled back, but inside, she was worried. As the tour continued, the humans were shown the data room. It was a vast space filled with glowing columns. Each column spun slowly, showing stars, alien texts, and strange images. But one column caught Malik's eye. It showed Earth, not just Earth's surface, but deep scans oceans, mountains, military bases, even secret launch sites that were supposed to be hidden. And worse, some of the images were from hours ago. They're scanning us in real time, he whispered, suddenly. All their communicators went silent. No contact with Earth. No signals in or out. Rachel looked at Vale. YRR comes down. Vale blinked. Ah, a small magnetic field error. It will be fixed. Rachel didn't believe him, but she smiled and nodded. Of course. Right. Inside her suit, she pressed a hidden button. Back on Earth, a signal was received. The message was simple. They're lying. World leaders didn't panic, but they activated silent protocols. Defense grids powered up. Hidden satellites aimed at the Volari mothership. One more move, and they would respond. But unknown to them, something else had already moved far beyond the moon, past Mars. Past the asteroid belt, Leviathan was awake. The ancient human warship had no crew, no voice, no fear. It had one rule written into its code. If a visitor lies about peace, prepare. For war, Leviathan was built after the last alien invasion 50 years ago. It was Earth's secret guardian, cloaked, buried in deep space. Powered by dark matter and vengeance, now it had received a second signal. From Earth's leaders themselves, observe deeper. Leviathan didn't speak. It vanished into warp space, heading straight toward the Volari ship, back aboard the mothership. Vale invited the humans to a final room. It was dark, cold, silent. In the center stood a large sphere, floating in midair. Inside it, a model of the solar system. Vale pointed at the Earth. So small, and yet so full of fire. Rachel narrowed her eyes. You said you come in peace. Vale smiled again. Of course. But we must always prepare. For the rare chance peace fails. The human said nothing. He turned his back, walking toward the far wall. Then Rachel heard it, a whisper. Too quiet for human ears. But her suit caught it, in Valari language. Begin silent scan for deep threats. Locate largest war construct. Prepare phase 2. Rachel's heart pounded. Malik looked at her. Did you hear that? She nodded once, relieving now. The humans returned to their shuttle and flew back to Earth. Vale waved goodbye, with a kind smile. But the moment the shuttle left, the Valari ship changed. Lights went dark. Energy levels rose. And hundreds of hidden ports along the hull opened. For just 1 second, enough for satellites to capture, each port held a weapon. Back on Earth, Maya Lin stared at the data. They're not here to trade, she said. They're here to find our greatest weapon. She was right. But the Valari had made one mistake they thought humanity's greatest. Weapon was a ship. They didn't know it was already watching them. Its name was Leviathan. The Valari smiled on the outside. But behind closed doors, their ships were searching every part of Earth quietly, secretly, constantly. They thought humanity wouldn't notice. They were wrong. At 3:12 a.m., Maya Lin sat alone in Earth's Deep Space Intelligence Center. The large screen in front of her showed hundreds of moving dot satellites, space junk, and Starship. Wasn't like the others. It was the Valari mothership. It was still in orbit, just floating quietly. But Maya saw the truth. It was moving, not its location, but its focus. They're scanning again, she whispered. But this time, underground. She opened hidden data files. Military bases, deep-sea bunkers, nuclear sites all were being watched by invisible beams. The Valari weren't studying Earth's people. They were studying Earth's weapons. Meanwhile, in a secret lab in the Swiss Alps, a powerful AI named Eco-7 ran its own analysis. It wasn't like other programs. It had been trained to look for patterns in war, especially alien war.echo-7, found something chilling. The energy signals coming from the Valari ship matched combat signatures seen in a war 70 years ago, a war humans didn't fight in, but one they had studied through long-range sensors. The Valari had destroyed another world once. Peace was their mask. Behind it was a hidden sword. Eco-7 sent one message to Earth's Security Council. Valari show hidden military patterns, likely threat level, critical. Commander Rachel Moss sat in a dark room with General Carter. The human team had just returned from the Valari ship. They're hiding something, she said. What kind of something? The general asked. Weapons, plans, maybe more. Their ship looks calm, but it feels like a trap waiting to spring. She handed him a data chip. They were asking about Leviathan. The general's face froze. They know. They suspect something, but they don't know where it is or what it is. The general stood up and gave a quiet order. Send a silent code to Leviathan. Authorization. Observe deep threat. Mode. Far out in space, Leviathan received the new command. Its hull, black as space itself, rippled with energy. Its eye core, old and cold, began to glow. It watched the Valari ship now. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It just listened, and it found something. Inside the Valari command signals. Behind the fake peace transmissions, there was a second layer of code. Hidden orders. Scan Earth for strategic locations. Locate threat-level vessels. Log for elimination. Leviathan didn't react. It simply added one new line to its memory target. Valari mothership status. Evaluating. Back on Earth, the public still believed the Valari were peaceful. News channels showed smiling aliens, floating cities, and promises of shared technology. But behind those smiles, pressure was growing. A Valari scout ship accidentally entered restricted airspace over the Pacific. It hovered for 3 minutes before vanishing. 2 hours later, Earth's top submarine fleet near Antarctica went dark. No signal, No response. "They're testing us," said General Carter. "They want to see how fast we react."
What
"Do we do?" Rachel asked. The general looked at the stars. "We wait. We don't blink. And if they strike first..." He didn't finish the sentence. In the Valari mothership, Vale stood in front of a large star map. He touched a glowing point Earth. "They are smarter than we thought," said one of his commanders. "They've detected our scans," yes, Vale said calmly. "But they still hide their true weapon. We must find it before they use it. Shall we begin Phase 2? "Not yet," Vale replied. "Let them feel safe. Just a little longer." Then he turned to the shadows. "Send the ghost probes." High above Earth, new objects appeared, tiny, invisible, undetectable by most human tech. They slipped through clouds, into oceans, under mountains. But they weren't truly invisible. Leviathan saw them. It tracked each one, counted them, marked them. Threat activity confirmed. It's a reset. Counterstrike readiness. 87%. Awaiting Earth command. But Earth had not yet given that order. Maya Lin sat in silence, reading the latest reports. Missing submarines, satellite blind spots, power surges near hidden bunkers. She put it all together. They're preparing for a strike. Walked into the Security Council meeting room, heart pounding. "We need to prepare now." "You think they'll attack?" Someone asked. "No," she said. "I think they already have. We're just not dead yet." And in the dark of space, Leviathan stared at the Valari mothership with its one massive eye. No one saw it. No one felt it. But it had moved closer. Next command would not be observe. If the Valari made one wrong move, Leviathan would show them what humanity had built in the silence. Far beyond the moon, in the cold emptiness of space. Something opened its eye. It had no crew, no voice, no soul. But it remembered one thing: protect Earth, erase all threats. Leviathan was not a ship, not in the normal sense. It was a creation built in silence, long after humanity's last great war. Built not by one nation, but by all of Earth, in secret, buried deep in the shadows of space, forgotten by most, denied by all. Even Earth's own leaders rarely spoke its name. They feared it, respected it, needed it. Because if anything ever came for Earth again, truly came with fire and lies, then Leviathan would wake. And now it was awake. The Valari didn't know it. They believed humans were clever, but not dangerous. They thought Earth had warships, missiles, maybe even space fighters. But Leviathan was not those things. It was different. 1,000 kilometers long, it's covered in black carbon armor that absorbed radar, sound, and light. No windows, no bridge, no mercy. Inside, there were no humans, only machines. Only the AI core built from the minds of Earth's greatest war strategists, goped and coded into something more than human. It had learned from every war in history, every alien invasion, every betrayal. And when Earth sent the signal, Leviathan watched. Inside the AI core, a soft red light blinked. Target. Valari mothership, and clear intentions. Increasing scans, multiple violations. Response. Observation complete. Preparing simulation. The ship didn't move fast. It didn't need to. It simply slid through space without sound. Without light closer and closer to the Valari vessel, it had already mapped every system on their ship, already found their weak points, already chosen the order of destruction, in case the time came. But still, waited, because Leviathan was not built to strike first, only to finish on Earth. General Carter stood in front of a dark screen showing the Leviathan's location. It was labeled only as Unit 0. He watched as the red dot moved slightly toward the Valari mothership. "It's active," he said. Maya Lin nodded, fully. "Has it armed weapons?" She paused. "Only defensive, but that won't last. If the Valari launch even one real attack," he sighed, "then it won't be a war. It'll be an example." Meanwhile, in the Valari mothership, Vale sat inside a private chamber with his top advisors. They looked worried. "Something is near us," said one. But our sensors can't see it. A cloaked ship, asked another. Maybe, or maybe something. Worse. Vale didn't answer. He just stared at the star map. His hand hovered above Earth's image. We came here to test them, he said quietly. But I think we may have stepped on something we shouldn't have. He turned to his guards. Send more ghost probes. Find their war command center.
Ace.
Find their real weapon. But it was already too late, because the weapon wasn't on Earth. It was right behind them. Watching Leviathan ran another simulation. If the Volari fired on Earth, if they targeted satellites or command centers or defense systems, then Leviathan would respond, not with missiles, but with something worse. Its hull opened slightly, just enough to reveal what lay inside. A single weapon. A gravity pulse cannon. One blast could fold metal, crush ships, and bend space itself. It had never been used. It had never needed to be, until now. Maybe back on Earth, Rachel Moss stared at a secret monitor, showed Leviathan's internal. Status still silent, still patient. I don't even know it's there, she said. Should we tell them? No. If they're smart, they'll leave. If they're not, she didn't finish her sentence. They all knew what would happen next. In orbit. A Volari scout ship moved too close to a human defense satellite. It locked on, and in that moment, just 1 second, Leviathan reacted. A warning signal was sent. Dot. Not in language. Not in sound. Just a sudden spike in space so strong, so unnatural, that every sensor aboard the Volari ship screamed. The scout ship spun out of control. Not hit. Not damaged. Just warned. Back aboard the mothership, alarms went off. Ah! Was that? Where did it come from? Unknown. No ship detected. Vale stood slowly. They have something, he whispered. And it's looking at us. The black sea of stars? Leviathan returned to silence. Its eye closed. But its systems remained ready. Final warning delivered, the AI said, awaiting hostile trigger. The Volari had called themselves peaceful. They had smiled. Shaken hands, offered gifts, but they had lied. And now something older than fear, older than war, was awake. It did not speak. It did not blink. It never missed. Its name was not known by most. But the stars remembered it was Leviathan, and it was the last thing any enemy would ever see. They smiled. They raised their glasses. The room was filled with music and light, but one glitch in the translator, and the truth slipped out. A week had passed since the Volari arrived. To the world, they still appeared peaceful, calm, beautiful. They shared small pieces of technology. They taught Earth how to grow crops faster, even offered medical help. News channels praised them. People cheered in the streets, children dressed like the Velar in silver robes. The friends from the stars, they were called. But behind the scenes, Earth's leaders were worried. Leviathan remained alert. Hidden sensors showed Volari probes still scanning deep into Earth's crust and oceans. Energy readings near human military zones had tripled. General Carter said it best, they're smiling on the outside. Out. But their eyes are looking for something. To ease tension, the Volari invited Earth's top leaders to a formal dinner. A sign of friendship. A chance to speak face to face. The location was chosen carefully. A space station between the two ships. Neutral Ground President Hale of Earth arrived with Commander Rachel Moss, Maya Lin, and a few others. They entered the dining hall, a grand, glowing room with floating lights and long silver tables. Vale greeted them with his usual soft smile. Welcome. Tonight, we celebrate our new friendship. Food was served: strange fruits, golden water, glowing bread that never crumbled. Musicians played soft alien music. Everything seemed perfect, until it wasn't. They used a universal translator for the evening. The Volari language was complex tones, pulses, even thought signals. The translator was programmed to make it sound like smooth English. It worked. Well, until halfway through dinner, Vale raised a glass and said, "Before conquest comes calm. Let us enjoy this moment of peace." The room fell silent. The translator blinked, Then it corrected. Apologies. Translation error, he meant. Before connection comes calm. But the damage was done. Rachel Moss's face went cold. Maya's eyes narrowed. President Hale placed his glass down without sipping. None of them spoke, but all of them understood it. Wasn't a mistake. It was the truth slipping through. After the dinner, the Earth delegation returned to their quarters in silence. Rachel closed the door behind them. Conquest, she said. That's the word he used. They're not here to be friends, Maya said. They're waiting for something. Signal, a time, I don't know. We need to respond, Hale said. Carefully, Rachel nodded. We don't start a war, but we let Leviathan prepare. Back on the Volari side, Vale stood before his commanders. He wasn't smiling anymore. They noticed. One of them said, Yes, Vale replied. The translator failed. Too much emotion in my voice. Should we begin phase 2? Vale stared out the window at Earth. No, not yet, but send the deep probes. We must find their greatest weapon before they use it. The next day, strange things began happening. A deep-sea listening station in the Arctic lost power. An underground missile silo in Asia reported unknown heat signatures in the rock. A drone base in Africa showed signs of magnetic interference, and through it all, Earth stayed quiet. But Leviathan did not. In the darkness of space, Leviathan's eye opened again. It saw the probes tiny, silent machines moving through Earth's oceans under the crust, across the skies. They had no weapons, but they were not peaceful. They were spies. Leviathan's AI calculated the pattern. Probability of invasion, 71%. Probability of false peace, 98%. Current action, passive block, no lethal response yet. Then, it did something new. Leviathan sent a warning. Not in words, not in sound. In presence, suddenly. Every Volari ship, every Volari console, every alien device near Earth flickered. Screens went black, lights dimmed, and one symbol appeared everywhere, a single red eye with a line through it. Then, everything returned to normal. The Volari officers stared in fear. What was that? Was it an attack? No damage. Just a signal. Vale stood frozen. He had seen that eye once before, long ago, in a hidden Volari archive. It's a myth, he whispered. A silent guardian from Earth, they called it, the Black Leviathan. On Earth, President Hale gave a quiet order to General Carter. They attack, we don't wait. Carter nodded. We'll let Leviathan speak for us. That night, Vale sent one final message to the Council of Earth. We continue to believe in peace. But we ask why? Does your planet hide something so powerful? Rachel read the message, then looked up at the stars. Because peace isn't given, it's protected. And Leviathan watched them both. Still quiet, still patient, but ready. The dinner had ended, and now, so had the lies. The Volari scanned Earth for weapons. They found nothing, no supercannons, no fleets in orbit, no city-sized battle stations. And so they laughed. Their strongest weapon must be a bluff. They should have known better. The Volari Council met in secret aboard their mothership. Their faces were calm, but their voices were sharp. No visible threat, said one. Earth has surface weapons and a few orbital guns. But nothing that explains the signal we received, said another. Vale remained silent. He remembered the red eye. He remembered the silence that followed. They're hiding something, he said, and I believe it's alive. Impossible, the others replied. We've scanned the entire solar system. There is no large warship, no energy source powerful enough. Hale nodded slowly. Then we scan again, deeper. Meanwhile, on Earth, the mood had shifted. The dinner had changed everything. World leaders now walked with quiet urgency. Defense networks stayed active 24/7. Ships were moved without alert. Satellites were aimed not at space, but at the Volari still. The official message stayed the same. Peace talks continue. But underground bunkers buzzed with warnings. General Carter reviewed new orders in a hidden base. Operation Shadow Mask is ready, an officer told him. Good, Carter said. Let's make them think it's all a bluff. At the United Command Center, Maya Lin stared at a screen. The Valari had sent more probes, but this time, they weren't scanning land. They were searching space. One moved close to Earth's moon, another drifted near Mars, and one vanished near Saturn. Maya narrowed her eyes. They're trying to find it. Commander Rachel Moss stood beside her. Leviathan, as Maya said. But it's not where they're looking. Then where is it? Ah, Maya looked up. Right behind them. Far out in deep space, Leviathan followed silently. The Valari mothership never saw it, never felt it. But every time the alien ship moved, Leviathan moved to exactly 500,000 kilometers away. Always just outside sensor range, it was like a ghost. But a ghost made of metal and fear? Inside its eye core, calculations continued. Valari searching pattern detected. Target is attempting to identify Leviathan location. Cloak stability, 99.999% risk of detection, near zero. Still, Leviathan made one adjustment. Its weapons were no longer passive. They were now primed. Back aboard the Valari ship, one of their tech officers gasped. Commander, found something strange shadows in the radiation field behind us. Explain, said Vale. No object. Signal. But something is bending light. Space is warped. Vale walked over. He stared at the strange dip. In the readings, there's something out there. On Earth, Maya Lin received the leaked signal. She smiled grimly. They're starting to suspect. President Hale, watching from a command room, turned toward her. Will they run? Maybe, she said. But not before they test us one more time. She was right. That same night, without warning, the Valari made their move. 3 of their scout ships left the mothership fast, sharp, and silent. They moved toward Earth's largest orbital weapons platform, Sentinel-9. The platform was heavily armed, but unmanned. Test. The Valari didn't fire, but they scanned it aggressively. Deep, hostile scans. Enough to trigger Earth's alarms. It was a warning. A quiet message. We can reach you anytime. In response, Earth sent no ships. No message, just silence. But in space, the real answer was already coming. Leviathan saw the scans, it didn't. Speak, it didn't warn. It moved. The Valari mothership suddenly lost signal with its 3 scouts. No explosion. No sound. Just gone. 1 second, they were there next second. Nothing. Their command deck exploded in panic. Where did they go? No debris, no trace. Vale stood still. He had seen this before. It's not a bluff, he said. Turned to his crew. We've found their weapon. It's not a city. It's not a fleet. It's something else. Then what is it, Commander? Vale looked into space, as if he could feel it watching. It's waiting for us to make a mistake. General. Carter received the news minutes later. Scouts gone? Rachel asked. He nodded. No one fired. No one saw anything. Maya looked at them both. Leviathan removed them. President Hale said nothing. Then finally, if they try again, we don't stop it. A day passed. The Valari said nothing. Earth said nothing, but the galaxy had felt it. In distant systems, alien empires paused. Broadcasts stopped. No one spoke about Earth not anymore. They had seen the signal. The missing ships, the silence, and they all wondered, was Earth bluffing? No, it never was, because somewhere in the dark, something moved and waited, and watched, and its name was Leviathan. No one spoke, no one moved. 3 alien scout ships had vanished without a sound. The galaxy thought Earth was bluffing now. They weren't so sure. The Valari were afraid. For the first time in over 200 years, their war fleet paused. They didn't send new scouts. They didn't scan Earth again. They just waited. Vale stood at the viewing deck, watching the stars. 3 ships, destroyed without light, without noise. We didn't even detect the attack. That officer whispered. Is this some kind of magic? Vale didn't answer, because he was thinking the same thing. On Earth, the skies were clear. But everyone felt the tension. Global defense networks stayed quiet, but alert. Military bases remained on standby. Satellites watched every move from space. Inside the United Command Center, President Hale sat with General Carter, Maya Lin, Commander Rachel Moss. "They've stopped moving," Carter said. "Good," said the president. "Let them think." Maya leaned forward. "They're scared. But fear doesn't last forever. They'll strike again, this time harder. And when they do?" Rachel asked. Maya didn't blink. "We show them what real fear feels like." Far above, Leviathan drifted like a shadow behind the Volari mothership, silent, unseen. Ready, it had watched the three scouts move. It had calculated threat, and it had acted now. Its inner systems buzzed with new commands. Authorization granted. Defensive force escalation allowed. New objective: deter fleet-wide aggression. Target Volari mothership systems. Non-lethal strike ready. Yes, Leviathan could destroy planets. But this time, chose a message instead. Then came the moment. The Volari mothership powered up its main weapon systems. Quietly, cautiously, but Leviathan noticed. It waited. And when one small drone from the Volari moved toward Earth again, it wasn't an explosion. It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't loud. It was surgical, one thin beam of light, barely visible, cut through space. It didn't hit the drone. It hit the Volari mothership's main cannon in less than a second. The weapon melted, not exploded, not shattered, like butter under fire. Inside, the Volari ship, alarms screamed. "Main weapon gone. We didn't detect any projectile. Shields didn't activate." Vale stared at the readings. They were sending a message. What message? Someone asked. He looked at the red, glowing wreckage of the cannon. Next time, they aim for the core. Earth's command center received confirmation. General Carter leaned back. Leviathan only took the gun. Maya nodded. Yes, that was the warning shot. President Hale folded his hands. And now we wait, Maya said. Either they back off, or they test us again. Across the galaxy, the news spread like fire. 3 Volari scout ships, missing. Main cannon of Volari flagship, destroyed. Earth, silent, alien governments panicked. Some shut their borders. Some tried to contact Earth with peace messages. Others simply turned their ships around and fled. And everywhere, one question spread. What kind of weapon could strike the Volari so perfectly and not be seen? Some called it a ghost. Some said it was a machine god, but no one could name it. One, except those on Earth. Vale sat in his dark quarters. He watched the short recording of the energy beam again, frame by frame, slow. Careful, there was no launch. No movement, no heat trail. Just a beam that appeared out of nowhere and ended their weapon. Not magic, he whispered. Not a bluff. He opened a private log, and for the first time, Volari commander wrote the words, "Earth possesses a warship far beyond our understanding. It has not spoken. It has not shown itself, but it has acted. We must decide. Fight the shadows or make peace with them." Leviathan, high above the Velar, turned slowly. Its sensors scanned the alien ship's new position. No more weapons. Powered up. No more scouts sent one signal back to Earth. Just 2 words. Strike complete. In the quiet of the United Command Center, the signal arrived. Everyone stared. Then Maya Lin stood and faced the others. "This is not the end." President Hale nodded. "Then let's make sure the next move isn't ours, because now the whole galaxy was watching. And Leviathan was just getting started. No ships moved. No more attacks came. But something had changed across the galaxy. Something old had awakened. And it wasn't on Earth. The stars were quiet for 3 days. The Volari ship stayed frozen in orbit above Earth, not attacking, not leaving. Earth waited too inside the United Command. Center General Carter stared at the global screen. "They're planning something," he said. "Or they're waiting for something worse." Maya Lin stepped in with new data. "They've sent long-range signals. Not just to their empire, but far beyond. To who? The president asked. Unknown, Maya replied. But whatever's out there, just answered. Far from Earth, deep in the dark edge of the galaxy, something stirred. Old machines blinked to life after thousands of years. Dust fell from steel. Engines hummed. A long-dormant command woke up. A signal from the Valari had reached it, and it responded, not with words, not with peace, but with motion. A massive object, shaped like a jagged spear, detached from the black moon it was buried in. Codename, Echo Prime. Purpose, unknown. Age, older than any Valari record. It moved without sound, without light, and it was heading straight for Earth. Back in orbit, Vale stood before his crew. Echo Prime is on its way, he said calmly. Once it was our creator's weapon, now it belongs to no one. The officers shifted nervously. Commander, won't it destroy Earth? Vale looked at the screen. Perhaps, or perhaps it will destroy us all. We've called the storm. Now we must stand inside it. Leviathan detected the motion first, thousands of light years away, picked up the faint ripple in gravity. Inside its system, old warnings flashed. Unknown object detected. Class Black threat origin. Prevalari technology. Estimated arrival. 9 days for the first time. Leviathan paused. Then, it changed course. Earth's command center lit up with alerts. Maya shouted from her console. We've got movement. Leviathan is leaving orbit. Carter leaned forward. Is it retreating? No, Maya said. It's intercepting. Something. Something big. The room fell silent. President Hale asked, What did the Valari bring here? Maya showed the image. A long black object, half weapon. Half machine cutting through space like a silent bullet. No engines. No lights, just mass, speed, death. What is that thing? A whisper, Maya said softly. A whisper before the storm. In the Valari mothership, a secret meeting was held. Vale met with his second-in-command in a sealed room. This was not supposed to happen. We came to scare them, not awaken monsters. The officer asked, What is Echo Prime? Vale's voice was cold. It is the reason we fear silence. The reason we never conquered Earth before. Long ago, it destroyed both enemy and ally alike. Can we stop it? We couldn't then. We can't now. Meanwhile, Leviathan accelerated. Inside its systems, thousands of calculations ran every second. It didn't feel fear. It didn't feel hate, but it understood one thing. Threat level critical. Objective. Intercept and neutralize Echo Prime. Secondary objective. Protect Earth. Third objective. Survive. Leviathan launched smaller sub-drones ahead. One faster than light, each one a sensor and weapon combined. But Echo Prime destroyed them instantly without changing course. One beam. No warning. Leviathan stopped sending drones. It now understood. Echo Prime was not just a weapon, was something alive. On Earth. People watched the skies. The media didn't know about Echo Prime, but they knew something was wrong. Why is the alien fleet just sitting there? Why did our warship vanish? What are they waiting for? Maya, Carter, and Rachel met in private. The world deserves to know, Carter said. Not yet, Rachel answered. We tell them when. We're sure what's coming. Maya nodded. We're not just in a war now. We're in something older. Something buried. On day 5, something else happened. A new signal arrived, not from the Valari, not from Echo Prime, but from a lost human colony, a place Earth hadn't heard from in 70 years. Their message was simple. We saw it pass. We saw the black spear. We hid. We survived. Barely. Do not fight it. Do not face it. Run. Back in space, Leviathan stopped. It hovered in the dark. Echo Prime was still 4 days away, and Leviathan was calculating a new plan. This enemy cannot be stopped by fire alone. This enemy is not just machine. It remembers, and it hates. Inside Leviathan, something strange happened. A new voice spoke from deep within its code. Not a system, it's not a command, but a whisper. I remember it too. In the cold dark of space, two giants now moved. One built by humans, one older than memory and Earth, stood in their path. Echo Prime did not speak. It did not slow. It simply kept moving. Across the black of space, its sharp form glided. Through asteroid fields, radiation storms, and abandoned stations. Nothing stopped it. Nothing touched it. Every second it got closer to Earth. Inside the Leviathan, alarms glowed red. The ship so powerful, so feared, was now uncertain. Not scared, but cautious. Threat level. Maximum energy source. Unknown weapon. Systems ancient beyond current understanding. General Carter stood at Earth Command. Watching the incoming object, Maya explained it simply. This is not just a weapon. This is a memory of war. A piece of the past, built for something humanity never faced. President Hale leaned forward. Then why is it coming here? Maya hesitated. Because we woke it up. On the Valari mothership, panic was growing. Even Commander Vale could feel it. He held himself calm, but inside he knew they had made a mistake. Valari officers pleaded, "We must leave. Echo Prime destroys, all it obeys no one. Even Leviathan cannot stop it." But Vale stayed quiet. He remembered an old story, a tale told in low whispers among the elders of his people. Long ago, the builders created something to end a war that could not be won. That something was Echo Prime. Earth's leaders faced an impossible choice. Rachel, Maya, and Carter met in the war room. "Do we try to stop it?" Rachel asked. Carter looked at the data. "We can't." Leviathan tried. Its probes were destroyed instantly. "Then we evacuate." To where, Maya replied. "Echo Prime isn't after land or cities. It's after something deeper." President Hale said what no one else would. "It's not here for the Valari. It's not here for Earth. It's here. It's for Leviathan." Leviathan now changed course. For the first time in its existence, it prepared for a final battle. It deployed its most secret systems. Massive cannons unfolded. Shields lit up in blue. It called back all drones. Every part of it focused forward, and inside its core, something else awoke. A program not used before. A voice not heard since Leviathan was born. Memory core unlocked. Old pilot interface. Activated. A man's voice echoed inside. "This is Commander Reeve. If you're hearing this, then Echo Prime is back." Back on Earth, Maya's eyes went wide as she read the Leviathan signal. "It's opening an old human pilot core," she whispered. "One from the First War." Rachel asked. "But that was over 100 years ago. No one survived that war." Maya nodded slowly. "No one, except maybe him." Echo Prime continued forward, now only 48 hours from Earth. It sent out no signals, it fired no weapons. But everything around it began to die. Stars dimmed. Small moons cracked. Satellites shut down. It brought silence real, deep silence with it. On Earth, strange things began happening. Birds stopped flying. Winds stopped blowing. People had strange dreams. Some screamed in their sleep. Others wept for no reason, as if the planet itself was remembering something. In space, Leviathan waited, and Echo Prime finally slowed down. Not because it had to, but because it chose to. It faced Leviathan. It's no message, just two giants. Eye to eye, and then Echo Prime did something no one expected. It changed shape. Its sharp, spear-like body cracked open like petals of a black flower. Inside, a red core glowed slow, pulsing. Alive, Maya watched it on screen. "It's not a ship anymore," she said. "It's becoming something else." General Carter stared. "A god of war," he whispered. "Made by a forgotten people, reborn." Inside Leviathan, the old pilot code activated fully. A voice spoke again. "If Echo Prime is returned, then you'll need more than weapons. You'll need what made humans different. You'll need memory." And for the first time, Leviathan opened its deepest secret, a human brain. Frozen. stored inside since its creation, eyes opened, lungs filled. And the pilot commander, Reeve took a breath for the first time in 137 years. 137 years ago. Was frozen in silence. Now, the man who once flew humanity's deadliest machine is awake, and the galaxy doesn't know what's coming. Inside the Leviathan, lights flickered, systems hummed louder. Doors that had never opened before now moved on their own, eh? Cryopod hissed as steam poured out. The man inside Commander reopened his eyes. He did not scream. He did not panic. He simply said one word, status. The AI responded instantly. Leviathan is active. Enemy detected. Echo Prime. Distance, 36 hours. All weapons online. Reeve blinked slowly. His voice was rough but calm. So, they built it after all. Back on Earth, President Hale could hardly believe what he saw. General Carter stared at the data. Human. Pilot inside the Leviathan? This was hidden all these years, Maya explained. He was part of Project Black Echo. The real purpose of Leviathan was never just weapons, Rachel asked. Then what was it? It was a coffin. War machine. Waiting for one man to rise again. Commander Reeve stood in front of the Leviathan's control. Centered it looked different. Bigger, sharper, more deadly. He placed his hand on the panel, and the entire ship reacted like it had missed him. He waited. He whispered. Echo Prime. Continued forward. No noise. No signal. Just steady, perfect movement. Across the galaxy, thousands of alien races watched the live feeds. They all expected the same thing. Earth would fall. Even Leviathan would burn. But then the camera showed Commander Reeve stepping into the pilot's chair, and everything changed. Valari. Command went silent. Commander Vale looked at the screen with wide eyes. That's not possible, he muttered. One. Officer asked. Who is that? Vale whispered, almost in fear. He's the reason the last war ended. Not because we won. But because we couldn't survive another fight with him. That man is the Leviathan's heart. Inside the ship, Reeve linked his mind to the system. Everything came flooding back. Old battles. Broken friends. Mistakes he never forgot. Prime, he said quietly. You weren't supposed to wake up. But I guess peace never lasts long, the AI responded. Enemy approaches. Core charge complete in 24 hours. Weapons ready? He asked. All weapons armed. Reeve gave a small smile. Let's dance, you ugly monster. On Earth, cities held their breath. People stood by screens, radios, windows watching the sky, not with fear anymore, but with something else. Hope. Children whispered his name. Old soldiers stood and saluted. The world had been ready to die, but now, humanity's last pilot had returned. Maya stood with Rachel, tears in her eyes. He gave up everything to stop a war no one remembers. Rachel nodded, and now he's back, to stop a weapon no one understands. Echo Prime now began to react. It scanned Leviathan and paused for the first time. Something inside Echo remembered Reeve's voice. It was faint, but it triggered something ancient. The red core inside Echo Prime started to spin faster. Lights across its body changed it new. This would not be easy. Commander Reeve sat back in the chair. He breathed in slow and deep. One more time, old friend, he said to Leviathan. Let's protect our people. The stars outside seemed to shimmer as power surged. The final battle hadn't started yet, but the war had just begun. Two monsters are now awake. One remembers pain. The other remembers war. Only one will survive what's coming. The galaxy watched in silence. On one side, Echo Prime. A perfect weapon built by alien minds, designed to erase entire civilizations. On the other, the Leviathan, Earth's last and greatest warship. Now controlled by Commander Revtha, man who once made empires surrender without firing a single shot. But this time, it would be no surrender. Inside Leviathan, power surged. The ship's heart tits, dark matter core glowed deep blue. Systems unlocked one by one. Weapons grid online. shields holding at 94%. Tactical command restored. Reeve stood at the center, calm as always. "Plot intercept course," he said. "Time to say hello." In orbit around Jupiter, massive thunderclouds shifted. The Leviathan moved past the planet like a shadow made of steel. Its engines didn't roar. They whispered. Even now, it didn't try to scare Echo Prime. It didn't need to, back on Earth. People watched the feed in silence. They didn't cheer, they didn't scream, they just waited because they knew. This battle would decide everything. President Hale asked Maya, "Is there any chance?" Maya's answer was quiet. "If anyone can stop Echo Prime, it's him." Across the stars, the alien council watched too. Dozens of species, thousands of eyes. Many of them had once fought humans. Most had lost. Now they saw the Leviathan rise. Again, like a ghost from the past, one council member whispered, "The Earth warship lives." Another said, "No, it doesn't live. It remembers." Echo Prime didn't wait. The machine launched its first attack. A beam of red energy cut through space like fire. It didn't miss. It never did, but Leviathan was already moving. It dodged with impossible speed, like it knew the attack before it even came. Reeve's eyes were focused, calm, cold. "Same strategy as last time," he muttered. "You never learned, did you?" He gave a single command. "Turn fire." Leviathan's main cannon opened. It was unlike anything in the galaxy. Not a laser, not a missile, but something worse, a pulse of gravity and silence. The blast hit Echo Prime dead center. For the first time, Echo Prime staggered. It adjusted its shape, repairing damage instantly, but its red core blinked once. Echo Prime was confused. It had never been hit like that before. Reeve gave a small smile. "Good. You can feel pain." The AI spoke next. "Shields at 81%. Enemy adapting. Let it adapt," Reeve said. "We haven't even started." Inside Echo Prime, something changed. The smooth metal began to twist. Weapons formed from its sides. It was no longer just a ship. It was evolving and fast. Its next strike came from every angle, like stars exploding at once. Leviathan shook. Alarms blared. Reeve was thrown from his chair. But only for a second. He stood up and shouted, "Divert. Power to side shields. Launch mirror drones." Outside the Leviathan, small machines shot out. They moved fast, too fast, for Echo Prime to lock onto. They became mirrors, confusing the enemy's tracking. The next barrage missed. Back in Earth's war room, Maya smiled. "He's doing it." Rachel asked, "But can he win?" Maya's face grew serious again. Echo Prime is learning. It doesn't stop. Inside the Leviathan, Reeve looked at the data. He saw the danger, the speed, the evolution of Echo Prime, and he smiled. "Good, I was worried you'd be boring." Then Echo Prime did something strange. It stopped moving, just floated in space, dead silent. Reeve paused. Why did it stop? Suddenly, the AI gave a warning. "Energy spike detected. It's charging something." "No," Reeve whispered. "It's calling something." Far away in the darkness beyond Neptune, something moved. Huge. Silent. Older than Echo Prime, another shape began to awaken. It wasn't just one, there were two. Reeve's face went cold. So that's the game. He turned to the control panel. "We need more power. We're running out of time." He activated. A hidden key. One the world had forgotten. Unlock. Leviathan Protocol 7. The AI hesitated. Warning. Protocol 7 may cause system collapse. "I don't care," Reeve growled. "This is our last chance." The Leviathan's lights turned red. A new hum filled the ship. Low. Deep. Like something ancient was waking up. Weapons systems twisted into new shapes. Engines pushed beyond their limits. Reeve sat back, gripping the controls. Let's show them what the last human war machine really looks like. They made the perfect machine to destroy us. But they forgot. Humans make monsters too. The stars were silent, far beyond Earth, in the dark space near Neptune. Two war machines stared at each other. Echo Prime. Alien-made. Heartless. Calculating. Perfect. Leviathan. Human-made. Angry. Unpredictable. Alive, and now, another threat had awakened. Echo Prime's twin, buried deep in the ice of Neptune, now rising. "We can't win this," said Rachel, watching the feed from Earth. "Two of them? Even Leviathan can't handle that?" But Maya said nothing. She knew Reeve, and she knew he always had one more move. Inside Leviathan, systems groaned under the weight of Protocol 7. Engines overheated. Panels sparked, but Reeve didn't flinch. "Status," he asked. The AI responded, "Weapons. At 130%, shields unstable. Hull integrity falling." "Good," Reeve smiled. "Time to hit harder." Echo Prime and its twin moved together now. Perfect sync. Two minds. One purpose. Destroy Leviathan. Together they launched everything: lasers, gravity bombs, swarm missiles. The stars lit up like fire, but Leviathan charged straight in. No dodging, no fear, just fury. Reeve shouted, "Fire everything!" Leviathan's belly opened, not just guns, not just beams, but something new. From its core, a pulse of blue darkness spread out, a shockwave of broken physics, one of the Echo. Twins froze, mid-attack. Its systems glitched, its aim shattered. "Dark matter overload?" the AI confirmed. "Exactly," Reeve whispered. "Let's shut them down." Echo Prime struck back hard. One blast tore into Leviathan's side. Fire and smoke filled the bridge. Sparks rained down. Alarms screamed. Reeve bled from his forehead. But he stood tall. He looked at the wreckage, then up at the screen. "This ship was built to end wars," he said, "and I'm ending this one." Back on Earth, chaos grew. Governments panicked. Cities held their breath. Children watched screens, silent. A little girl asked, "Is the sky going to fall?" And her mother whispered, "Not if that man stops it." In space, Leviathan locked onto the first Echo. Its damaged twin now slowed. Weak Reeve made the call. "Push power to core. Direct fire. Point blank." The AI warned, "That could destroy us too." "Then let's take it with us." The Leviathan sped forward, straight into Echo Prime. The ships crashed with the force of a small sun. Metal tore. Engines shattered. A final blast, bigger than anything the galaxy had ever seen, exploded in blue light. From Earth, people thought the stars were dying. For a second, it looked like everything was gone. No signal, no ship, no Reeve. Silence then. A crackle. A voice still here. It was Reeve, bruised, bleeding, but smiling. On screen, the second Echo, what was left of it, floated. Dead in space, its systems fried, its body torn, and Leviathan, barely holding together, but still alive. The world cheered. People cried. Even soldiers wept, because they didn't just survive, they won. A week later, Earth held a quiet memorial. The names of those lost were red flags. Flew and Leviathan, though damaged, was returned to orbit, a symbol now. It's not just a ship. Reeve sat in a small room on the moon. Maya walked in. "So what now?" she asked. He looked at the stars. "They came in peace once. Then they sent death." He smiled. "Let them remember." "Earth isn't helpless," she asked. "Will you rebuild Leviathan?" Reeve looked at the model of the ship in his hand. "No," he said. "I'll build something worse." The end.